So thank you all so much for coming to class today. My name is Kristen, and this class is called Active Yoga Basics. So this class is, as it implies, we're going to move through some basic yoga postures that you may or may not have experienced before. And I'll give you lots of options for how to adapt this shape into your body. So the shape that I'll be making with my body might not be the same shape that you'll make with your body, but you'll just do the best that you can with the information I'm going to give you to try to make that work for you, right? You want it to feel safe in your body. You want it to feel beneficial. You don't want to feel any pain, okay? So if you start to feel any pain in any shape, just listen to your body and back out of that shape. Don't participate in that shape. Maybe do something else that you know is better for you instead, okay? So again, thanks for joining. We're going to start like we always do, building mountain pose. So take a look down at your feet. Separate your feet about hip width distance. Take a moment to just wiggle the toes around a little left and right, forwards and backwards, and then let them settle. Now, a lot of times we do set ourselves up way too wide. So you might need to take your fists together like this, long ways, and then slowly bend down and place them in between your big toes, just to make sure that you don't have a wider stance than you actually need. Then once you're back up to standing, lift all your toes up, spread them out wide, and then place them down on your mat. From here, we'll shift the weight towards the toes and lift up the heels, stretch the ankles. You might be a little wobbly, hold on to a piece of furniture or some wall space. And then slowly bring the heels down. Then maybe you lift up one foot, then the other. Just challenge that balance a little bit. Then shift your weight to your toes, lift up your heels. You might feel your thighs engage a little. And bring the heels down, lifting up your toes. All right, so forwards and backwards. Try to identify that little swivel action in the feet where you have to really check in with your balance. Some of us might feel that in our arches. Some of us might feel that towards the front of the foot. Okay, and this may start to feel like work, right? You're really starting to wake up the muscles in the feet, the ankles, the legs. We'll add a little movement side to side. Roll to the outer edge of one foot. Roll to the outer edge of your other foot. And bring your weight towards your big toe mounds, mindful of your knees. Let this be a natural movement in your knees. And then over to the other side. Okay, so now let's try forwards, backwards, left to right. Omit anything that's not working for you. Repeat anything on one side more than once if you need to, right? Balance is only relative to what's going on in our bodies. And we have a lot of imbalances, right? So that's something to consider. All right, make your way back to your center. Lift up your toes again. Try to spread them out a little wider. Back down to the mat. So careful that you don't crunch the toes down to find balance, right? So it may be easier for you to lightly pick those toes up and place them back down multiple times. Let's put a little bend in the knees. It's a little awkward, like you're right about to sit down. Hold it there. From here, we're going to draw the pelvic floor in and up. Belly button towards the spine. Lift your rib cage up away from your hips. And take a moment to lift your shoulders up towards your ears and down your spine. Do this multiple times. Do this one shoulder at a time. Do this no times if you like. Let them settle. Flip your palms a little forward. And now back to the legs. You still have that awkward bend. So let's press down from the feet. Engage the thighs and feel like you're almost pulling the thighs away from each other energetically. And then straighten your legs. Spaces in the lower back if you're really pressing into the feet and drawing them away from each other. You might even feel an internal rotation of your thighs. From here, just check in with the core, lift up from the chest, chin draws back, and you reach up through the top of your head. Deep breath in, slow breath out. If it's a part of your practice, palms together at the center of your chest, Anjali Mudra. Closing your eyes or taking your attention to the tip of your nose or the space between your eyebrows. You may like to create an intention for the time on your mat today. Maybe that's mantra, prayer, it could just be a moment of silence. And take a deep breath in. And a slow breath out. Opening up your eyes, interlace your fingers and place them underneath your chin. Heel toe your feet in a little bit. Keep pressing down through the feet and engaging up through the core. Look up towards your ceiling, a loud ha sound. At the same time, try to squeeze your elbows in towards each other. With your inhale, level your chin, lifting up your elbows. Exhale, head back. Squeeze the elbows in, squeeze in your core. Inhale, level your chin, lift up your elbows. Try to draw the shoulders down when you lift your elbows up. Exhale, head back. Elbows touch when breathless. At your own pace, inhale. Exhale. Press down from the feet. When you inhale, lift up your elbows. When you exhale, head back, squeeze the elbows, feel some space between your shoulder blades. Last one, inhale. Taking an extra sip, hold it in. Exhale, head back. Elbows touch when breathless. Arms down by your sides. Roll your shoulders up and back a few more times. All right, let your shoulders settle. With your inhale, reach your arms up overhead, interlace your fingers, release your index, cross your thumbs, and find a little stretch here side to side. Okay, for some of us, we're gonna have a bend in our elbows. For some of us, maybe our hands are at heart center. You could even have your hands at your hips, right? So do what feels best in your body. You might have one arm down and one arm doing something else as well, right? So we just want to feel a stretch between the ribs and the hips. Maybe you feel it down from the hip and you stay grounded through the feet, moving a little side to side. And then we'll add a little stretch forwards and backwards, rounding down from the feet to lift up, shoulders back. Not a huge back bend, just more of a chest lift. And then bring the arms forward. Maybe you draw one hip back and then the other. Really press down from your toes when you do this. Right? If you like to take some hip circles, go for it. Whatever you do in one direction, just balance it out the best you can the other way. All right, so we'll meet at the middle, drawing the arms up overhead. Maybe you can bring the biceps close to the ears, maybe not. If you are able to bring your biceps close to your ears, make sure you are not tilting your head forward. Press down from the feet, inhale to reach up. On your exhale, stretch up and over to your right. Keep your hips in alignment here. Different style. Press down from the left foot. Engage the left thigh and glute. Lift up from the chest and reach over. Keep pressing down to reach up. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Inhale back up to your center. And on your exhale, take it to the other side. Ground down from the right foot. Squeeze the right thigh. Maybe you feel a little internal rotation. When you ground down, you reach up. Belly button in. Inhale, find some space. Exhale, maybe you deepen. Inhale back up to your center. And on your exhale, you could take your elbows out and lift your chest. You could place your hands at your lower back with your elbows in. Either way, press through the feet, lift your chest and shift your hips forward. Inhale, reach your arms back up. Exhale, arms down by your sides. Back to your mountain pose, Tadasana. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. On your exhale, forward fold, however you like to get there, right? Could be a big bend in the knees, could be walking your hands down your legs. Do what's best for you, please. All right, so once you're in your fold, take a moment for a little movement, right? You could be super stiff here. So you might wiggle the hips. You might walk the hands from one side to the other. You might have blocks under your hands to help you with this if you can't quite reach the floor. All good. Okay, settling at your center, grab for opposite elbows. Let your head be heavy. And think about lengthening your spine. So try to let the lower back soften. Bending the knees a little more could help with that. Then try to feel the different vertebrae lengthen towards the floor. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Shifting your weight towards your toes. Spin your thighs inwards and try to lift your hips up a little bit. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. If you'd like to add a shoulder opener, hands towards the lower back, interlace your fingers, knuckles reach up and overhead, and just move with a natural range of motion. If you can't quite reach, you can use something in between the hands. You can think of them as arm extenders. And then again, shifting the weight towards the toes, lifting up your hips. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. And release your hands down towards the floor or your blocks. Begin to lower your hips down towards your heels. Your heels will naturally lift. We're going to try to make ourselves into a little ball shape here. So shoulders back, elbows in, chin towards your chest. And then look forward, lengthen through the back of your neck and begin to lift and lower your heels. Lift and lower your heels. And this can feel really difficult, right? So just do the best you can. Could be really wobbly. If it's painful, don't do it. If you feel it too much in your knees, you might not want to do it there either, right? Take care of yourself. Okay, so now we're going to spin the heels in towards each other. Open up the knees wide. All right, you have your own range of motion, so go with what's available to you. And you can walk your hands out in front of you and then shift your weight back into your hips. Or you can have your hands on blocks. You could even have your forearms on blocks and then shift your weight back into your hips. You can keep your neck straight or you can lower your head down if that adds to the stretch. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Now slowly walk your hands back towards your body, lift up your hips. Find one of those blocks and center it in between your feet and then forward so that when you place your right hand down and you shift your weight forward, your wrist, your elbow, and your shoulder are pretty much lined up with each other, okay? So now bend your knees and bend your right knee more. Inhale to twist, left arm reaches up. So we want to draw the shoulder blades in towards each other. Right shoulder under, reach up from the left fingertips without moving the shoulder away from the body. Press the left hip away from the body. Ribs move in the opposite direction of the hips here. Then check in with your toes. You might be leaning to one side. I have a tendency to lift my big toe on the left foot here. If you like a little different stretch, flip your palm away, bend at your elbow, press your hand at your lower back, and move deeper into your twist. Maybe you move your neck. Keep your core engaged. Inhale, reach your left arm up. Exhale, back to your forward fold. Then bring your left hand down, shift your weight forward, check in with those joints, make sure they're lined up. Bend both knees, bend your left knee more for the side. Inhale to twist, right arm reaches up. So space between the ribs and the hips. Hips move away from the ribs. When you reach your right arm up, pull the shoulder blade in. Left shoulder blade spins under. And when you press down from the left hand, you reach up from the right. Maybe a little half bind. Press down equally from the toes and heels. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Inhale, right arm reaches up. Exhale, back to your forward fold. All right, so you might take your hands to your shins. You might take your hands to the floor. You might take your hands back to your blocks and walk a little towards the top of your mat. Shoulders back, inhale, lift up halfway. On your exhale, bend your knees, pick up your right foot, point your toes straight back, and step back into a lunge. And try to move slow as controlled as you can. Once you're in your lunge, lower your back knee down. Your toes could stay tucked, or you can point them straight back. You can add a blanket underneath your knee or under the arch of your foot, the top part if needed. And then we want to flip the blocks up to give ourselves some space to sit up tall. So we engage the core to help support the spine. And now we want to feel the right hip press forward and then a little bit down. So you might have to place your hands on your hips to help you with that. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Check in with your left knee. Make sure your knee is not passing your ankle. And if you need to be more therapeutic, your heel can even be forward of the ankle. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Inhale, lift your chest, belly button in. Exhale to your half splits, flex your left foot. Take your blocks back with you to help you sit up tall. And make sure those hips are still squared. You may have to move them around a little bit to check in. So we'll take a look at the left foot. Try to spread your toes wide. Maybe you can wiggle your toes. And then take a moment to point and flex. Take a few nerve glides, pointing and flexing. Maybe you have a bend in your knee. That's okay. Okay, flex your foot, engage your core. Inhale, back to your lunge. Try to drive your left heel back energetically. So muscularly, you feel your thigh turn on. Right hip forward. Next, exhale, back to your half splits, flexing your foot. Inhale to your lunge. Exhale to your half splits. Okay, so this time maybe you take those nerve glides again. Maybe you just want to focus on wiggling your toes. Maybe like a little extra stretch. So if we're going to go for the stretch, we'll take the elbows in towards the rib cage, lift up the chest, tuck the chin, and then hinge your upper body forward. This could be a centimeter of movement for some of us, right? We want the hips to stay square. And if we feel too much pulling underneath the knee, that's telling you that, there's a problem. There's a lot of tightness. You don't want to pull that muscle. That's a big injury. So keep a bend in your knee. Deep breath in, slow breath out. Inhale back to your lunge. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee up off the mat. So squeeze that right thigh up towards the ceiling. Look forward, hover your right knee down, and as many steps as you need, right foot up to meet the left. Exhale into a forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. On your exhale, ground your hands, bend your knees, pick up your left foot, point your toes, and then step back into a lunge. From here, lower your left knee down, untuck your toes, set up your blocks to help you sit up tall. And now check in with your hips. So left hip forward, point through the toes or tuck the toes, but active all the way through the foot. Right heel draws back, lifting up your chest. Deep breath in. Exhale, half splits, flex your right foot. Take your blocks back with you. Wiggle those toes, separate the toes. So different for me on this side. I can't get all my toes to separate on this side, but I can on the other one, right? It happens. All right, so take a moment for nerve glides, pointing and flexing. Then flex your foot, engage your core. Inhale to your lunge. Feel the left hip forward and then lower it down. Press from the right heel on your exhale, half splits. Flex the right foot. Inhale to your lunge. Exhale to your half splits. All right, if you want to add that third option here, it's elbows in, lift, lengthen, strong from the hips, hinge forward. And for me, it's just a couple inches. I work to press back from the hips to lift from the chest, but it's not that much of a stretch. I would be overdoing it if I went any further. Inhale to your lunge. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee up off the mat. So strong from the back of that left thigh. Look forward, hover your left knee down. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, forward fold. Slowly come up to standing. All right, so feel free to have some water, skip a shape, substitute a shape, whatever is best for you. All right, we're going to work the hips today and some mobility into the feet. So that might mean you need to adapt things a little bit differently. If we have pain underneath the feet, you may want to take a towel, a little thin towel, and roll it up and place it underneath your foot, maybe the arch area, to help some of the shapes be more comfortable for you. Okay, so we're going to start at the top right of the mat, have a block nearby. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, big step out to the left. Now kick your left foot out like, you're aiming for something on purpose. You pick whatever that is. Turn the toes in. Bring your arms out to a T shape. If this is not okay with you to have your arms out, bring your hands to heart center or hands to your hips. Okay, so we're going to move through the shoulders. Maybe that's little circles with the arms extended. Maybe that's hands at the hips and you lift the shoulders up just a little bit more naturally. It's more exaggerated. Whatever you're doing in one direction, switch it out for the other. While you're slowly moving the upper body around, think of engaging the thighs, pressing down from the feet. All right, so roll the shoulders back, lift up your chest, breathe in. On your exhale, hinge forward. Hands can be at your hips for more stability. Once you have your upper body down, your hands down, move your hips a little left and right. Mindful that you can use blocks here underneath your hands. All right, if you have a larger range of motion, move into it. See what's available to you. Don't force anything though that feels, unattainable today. Every day is different. All right, so let's come back to our centers, turning the toes in a little bit. Feel an internal rotation of the thighs, so they're spinning in towards each other. Take your block out in front of you. And like in our twist earlier, we're going to bring the right hand forward enough so that everything lines up. Engage your core. Inhale to twist, left arm up. So just like in the last twist, right shoulder under, left shoulder blade in, and then reach up from the chest, reach up from the left fingertips. And shift the weight towards the toes, maybe a little back into the heels a few times. Deep breath in, slow breath out. Looking down, bring your left hand down, come back to a fold for a couple breaths. And then switch it out, left hand grounds, weight towards your toes, engage your core, inhale to twist, right arm up. And your hand could always be at your lower back. You could have your hand at the sacrum area pressing down. Maybe we're working mobility from there. Maybe we're in a half bind, opening up more from the front of the right shoulder. Whatever you're doing, you're lifting your chest, twisting and pressing from the feet. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Look down at the floor, right hand back down, come back to your fold. So lengthen up halfway. Bring your shoulders back. This might be where you stay. Or you can take your hands to your ankles, hands underneath the sides of your feet, peace fingers around your big toes. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale and pull your upper body down. So elbows out for this one. Move down into your fold and then slide your shoulders away from your ears. Shift your weight to your toes. Press down from the feet to lift up from your hips. Big breath in. Exhale and pull. Hands to the floor or your block. Inhale, lift halfway. Strong from the core. Arms can go out to a T shape or hands to your hips for more stability. Inhale up. Reach the arms overhead. Pivot your right foot out. Right foot steps over to the left. Exhale back to your mountain pose. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, big step out to the right this time. Remember, you're aiming for something. And then bring it down. Arms back to a T shape. So take a moment again for little circles or hands at your hips, working into the shoulders more. And then we'll begin to turn the heels in and the toes out. Okay, we don't want any pain on the knees here, so make sure that your toes are out only at a range that is comfortable for your knees. So you might have to turn those toes back in just a little. Okay, so tailbone down, engage your glutes here. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead best you can. On your exhale, begin to bend your knees and lower your tailbone down. Right, you can bring your hands to heart center so it's a little bit less cardio. You can widen your stance from here and move a little left and right. Just see what's available to you. Obviously, we're going to work into the hips a little bit. All right, so we're going to go down from the tailbone. Check in with your knees. You want to energetically feel like those knees are going to move behind you, even though they're not going to. At least I hope they're not going to. And then press down from the feet. Track those knees. Maybe you can think of towards the pinky toe. All right, tailbone down, lower belly in and up. Hands to heart center, shoulders back. Lower down 1 more inch. Now pelvic floor up when you lower down. Inhale, arms up if you like. Exhale, hands through heart center. Maybe you lower down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, maybe you lower. 1 more. Inhale, arms up. Now it's getting difficult. Exhale, lower down. Press from the feet. Inhale, straighten the legs. Arms up overhead. Turn the toes in. Bend your left foot over to the right. Exhale, arms by your sides. Right. From here, we are going to work on the mobility of the feet now. We'll do a quick tree and then lower down to the floor. So, I haven't taught this in a while. It's part of a chair series. We're not going to do all 3 parts, I don't think. I think we'll just do the first 2, and maybe we'll build on that next week. So we'll go feet about hip width distance. You have options. You can always check in with your alignment, palms together, or knuckles together in between the big toes. You might need more stability for your lower back. I'm going to do that. Having something to hold on to, squeezing those muscles kind of offers some resistance and fires up your inner thigh muscles, which are very underused in yoga. All right, so if you're using something in between the legs, really think about squeezing that and then pressing down from the feet. Let's bring the arms out in front. Traditional, supportive, or whatever Utkatasana chair pose. Deep breath in. Exhale, bend your knees. Lower your hips back, but not in a way that makes you tilt forward in your upper body. So your arms are out, your shoulders are back. Natural curve in your spine is fine. Press down from the feet, squeeze that block maybe. Pull in the core, lift your chest. With your exhale, sit down a little bit lower. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. See if you can draw the tailbone down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale and lower. Inhale up. Exhale, mountain pose. Just take a moment. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. All right, second part. It's a little bit trickier. Repeat the first part if you like. We'll lift up, arms out, lift up the heels. All right, lift up the heels. Not really anyone's favorite thing to do, but it is a good strengthener. So we squeeze the block, pelvic floor in and up, lifting up the chest, breathe in. Exhale, stay here or lower your hips down. Squeeze the block and press back from the tailbone. Maybe the heels lift a little more. Deep breath in. Exhale to lower. Inhale up. Exhale back to your mountain pose. All right. So maybe next week we'll do the third version. All right, tree. So we'll ground the left foot down. Lift your right heel up. Take your knee out to the right. And then see if you can lift your foot off the floor. If you can bring your heel above your knee. So above or below the knee. Left foot squeezes into the right thigh. 1 or both hands to heart center. This is a fine tree. No such thing as a bad tree. So do whatever tree you want. Challenge yourself. If your tree falls over, hopefully you're okay. And you can try again. So we want to track the right knee open. Press down from the left foot, lengthening up. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Squeeze the left thigh. It's easy to start to kick the left thigh out. All right, one more breath here. And on your exhale, slowly lower down back to your mountain pose. We'll ground the right foot, lift your left heel, take your knee out to the left. Could be a totally different tree on this side, so see what works best for you. Right thigh and glute are engaged, almost like they're wrapping backwards. Left knee's tracking open. Sometimes we have tightness and we need to just remind the body, it's okay to unwind. Maybe that means placing your hand on the inside of the knee and just a little pressure there outwards to help it open up. Still squeezing the right thigh, grounding from the right foot. Lift up from your chest. You're just mindful of kicking the right hip out. Check in with your breath. Deep breath in. On your exhale, slowly release your left foot down. Feet about hip width distance. Hands, flip them down, palms forward, right fingers down. Hands at your lower back. Inhale, lift up your chest. Exhale and shift your hips forward. Press your hands into your lower back. Lift up from the chest. Shoulders back, elbows in. Inhale up. Exhale, mountain pose. From the top of your mat, inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold, however you want to get there. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, squat and curl, rounding your spine. Inhale to look forward. On your exhale, reach your arms forward. Try to bring your heels down and then see if you can land your seat. Extend your feet towards the edge of your mat. Make sure you have a block towards the top of your mat or a pillow for your head. Reach the arms forward, lifting your chest, breathe in. Exhale and lower back. And when you lower back, think of each vertebrae and then press down from the big toes. Okay, from there, let's draw the knees in. Go slow, especially if this is a tight spot for you. Take your time to let your lower back settle. This might mean rocking left and right. This might mean little circles. Sometimes we can rock up and down the length of our spines as well, but just be very aware of yourself if that's your choice. Okay, so as that lower back settles, tuck your chin, and maybe you can take a tighter grip as your lower back does settle. This might mean hands behind the back of your knees instead of in front of your shins. We want to keep the shoulders down. So use a blanket or something as your arm extender if you can't get either of these grips. Deep breath in. Exhale and pull the knees in. Press your hips and your tailbone down towards the floor away from you. Inhale, belly lifts up. Exhale, draw the knees in. Press your hips down. Draw in your core. Inhale. Exhale, pull and press. And then kick your heels up towards your ceiling. Flex your feet. Reach your fingertips towards your toes. Check in. Make sure your core is sealed tight. Then lift your head and shoulders off your mat. Hold it here or pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, on a 1 to lift up and hold. Lift up 1 more inch, breathe in and hold. Exhale, lower down, give yourself a little squeeze. Then bring your feet back to the floor. So for this set of core work, we'll use a block or a pillow in between the knees. If you feel pain in your lower back, you could roll up a tiny little towel and place it underneath. You want a natural curve in your spine, and then you want to press your tailbone down. Engage the glutes. Squeeze the block. Take your hands behind the back of your head, elbows wide. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale up. Exhale, lower down. Draw in the core. Inhale up. Exhale down. Keep doing that. Or on your inhale, you lift up and reach the arm across your body. Exhale to lower down. Inhale up. Option to reach. Exhale to lower down. So at your own pace, inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Squeeze the block. Press down from the toes. And we'll go for 3, 2, and on 1, come back up through your center, lift your chest, squeeze the core, exhale, lower down. Take that block away, extend your legs long, reach your arms overhead, and point the toes in towards each other. See if that helps you add to your stretch. Draw the heels back in, lift your tailbone up, then press it back down. Extend your left leg, hang on to your right knee, give it a little squeeze. Then place your right foot to the floor, slide your hips out to the right, and take a twist, right leg across your body. So you can use all kinds of support here, between the knee to the ankle. You might need support or something weighted on top of your right hip. You might need support under your right shoulder if it's not able to make contact with the ground. Maybe your arms are out, palms up, palms down is fine. Hands on top of the body is fine. Whatever feels best for you. Just make sure the shoulders are grounded. Looking to the right, deepens the spinal line. Engage your core, roll back to your center. Slide your hips back over. Extend your right leg long, left leg in, give it a squeeze. And place your left foot down, slide your hips over and take your twist on this side. Engage your core, roll back to your center. Slide your hips back in. So in alignment, hips and shoulders. From here, soles of the feet touch, knees open. Recline bound angle, Baddha Konasana. You might take your hands to the inside area of the thighs, like where your little thigh crease would be here with the legs out, and press down. For some of us, this is not going to be comfortable. This is just like a little traction stretch. Your arms could be down by your side. You could have support underneath the thighs. You could have a block underneath the feet for a different experience. Tuck the shoulder blades to help lift your chest. And tuck your chin. Make sure you're not looking straight back behind you. And just begin to scan your body. Begin to let go of any muscular action in your face, your shoulders, your arms, your torso. So let go of any core engagement. And then press into your feet, draw your knees in towards each other. Walk your feet out. And let one knee fall in and then the other. Walk your feet back in. Engage the lower part of your core. Press from the heels. Lift your tailbone up. Press it down. And then walk the legs out into our final shape. So Shavasana, corpse pose. You may like to be in a different shape here. You support legs up the wall, whatever's best for you. So tuck the shoulder blades, lift your chest, arms by your sides, or a little further out is fine. Let it be a kind of a natural movement. And then from here, engage the glutes, rock your hips a little left and right. And then let them settle. Heels in, toes out. Lengthening through the spine naturally just by laying down. And supporting yourself maybe where it's just too much of a stretch. But as your body eases into the stretch, maybe you can take that support away. Closing your eyes. Keep scanning the body to relax. Breathing slow. We will formally end class at our seats in a moment or so. If you like a longer Shavasana, go ahead and mute me. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Reach the arms up overhead. Point your toes away from your body or take any other gentle, stretchy movement. Then take your time rolling to your side, coming up to your seat. Okay, sitting up tall, shoulders back, lift up your chest, tailbone down, engage your core, lifting your heart. Deep breath in. Through your nose, exhale. As strong of a breath as you like. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale. Exhale. Normal breath, inhale. Exhale. So if it is a part of your practice, palms together, center of your chest, keeping your eyes closed. Thank your mind and your body for what it's capable of today. And as always, give yourself a compliment for taking time out of your day to do something for yourself and those around you. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me, and you call this yoga. Namaste. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hope to see you on Friday for stretch and rest. Please let me know if you have any questions in the chat or reach out to us through our social media or our website, youcallthisyoga.org. Thank you.